I'm a millennial. I'm 33 years old. I've been conditioned to buy my games. I think there's a big concern for the future of gaming. I remember with every generation, whether it was our generation or the one below me, they always used to say, oh, they're a lazy generation. They don't do this. But let's look at this in terms of gaming and everything overall, because new studies show Gen Z is spending way less money on video games than older gamers. So young people can't basically even afford gaming anymore. And I saw a video from, I can't remember his name, that he did the other day, which was unbelievable because it spoke about everything to do with gaming young people have to go through. Young people are so strapped for cash that even video games are getting too expensive for them. A June study by Sakana, first reported by the Wall Street Journal, found that spending among 18 to 24-year-olds dropped by 13% from January to April of 2025 compared to last year. Video game purchases were hit particularly hard, falling nearly 25%, according to Sakana's Matt Priscatella shared on Blue Sky. So Priscatella shared another chart comparing the drop in spending among Gen Z to spending changes in older generations. The difference is dramatic. This is really concerning for the future of gaming and the younger audience, that eventually when we get older, will the younger generation be able to afford luxuries like gaming? But not only that, it's the way some companies like Xbox have condition their gamers to not buy their games. Loads of free-to-play games that are more affordable. This chart is really freaking concerning. So this is based on changing a 3-month rolling average for per person purchases. So if you look at this, purchases by age group changed from a year earlier. You're looking at 35 plus. You're looking at 25 years old to 34, which that would be me in the bracket. And then you look at the 18 to 24-year-olds where they've just absolutely dropped. This is absolutely nuts. So this is part of a larger trend resulting from a perfect storm of harsh economic factors hitting Gen Z all at once, from a tough job market to student loans rising. Back in the day, I remember you get a university degree, boom, you've got a job for life, you're going to get good money, you can provide for your family, and that's enough. Now, I know people that have got university degrees, even law degrees. My friend who did a law degree couldn't even get into the bar, and he did something completely different. Colleges, university, interest rates are through the roof. Renting, how many people can actually afford to get on the property ladder? And as a young person, man, is it freaking hard. So first of all, inflation is a joke. Well, they claim it's inflation, but wages haven't really gone up. Everything's gone up. First of all, people can't buy and spend 70, 60, 70, 80 pounds Xbox wanted to charge on gaming. So the other side is living conditions and wages and young people trying to get loans and college and try and make a life for themselves. So gaming is not going to be on the agenda if they can't afford food and rent and stuff like that. And then second of all, you've got the gaming industry trying to raise prices to ridiculous prices, but then the quality of the games are shocking. You want to increase prices and then you sell absolutely dog crap games. So why are people going to spend 60, 70, 80 pounds? You had Outer Worlds 2 coming out. That was going to be 80 pounds. Then they thought no one's pre-ordering. Let's drop it back to 70. I won't buy it now, even though it looked good, because you've kind of just tried to take the piss. So video games are not as affordable for the young people. And it's sad. It's very sad, because if you can't afford food, rent, you're not going to spend a lot of money on gaming. Prices of games have gone up. The quality of the games have gone down. They try and pump the same crap every year and charge more money for it. I'm not spending $80 on a single game. A lot of people will say. And what's crazy is that if the older generation, like 30s and above, are still buying games, and the younger generation are used to free-to-play games, then you've got all of these free-to-play games, which they're more enticing for loads of people, because they're like, well, it's free-to-play, and I can control if I spend £2, £5 on a skin, £6, I could spend £10 a month. On the other side of the coin is that a lot of people have been conditioned. Microsoft, I think it's been a bad idea for the gaming industry. Game Pass is so good for the consumer. I get that. But for companies, I don't think it's a good idea. And this is the other side of what you look at, is that people would rather get value for money in terms of the consumer, but it doesn't help these companies that make these multi-million-pound games and then they stick it on Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass may make developments wage slaves, says ex-PlayStation executives. Former PlayStation executive Sean Layden's thoughts are going viral as he gave his opinion on Xbox Game Pass. As part of larger discussion about gaming prices, the veteran Sony suit said he believes subscription service with day one releases could be a danger, and he likens the situation to Spotify. He points out that the music is basically worthless these days, but artists have an adjacent markets from touring. It's the same with music, you could say, as well. I guess it's so relative for sure, because it's a choice to put your games on Game Pass. Obviously, Claire Expedition 33 went on Game Pass, I believe. day one, and it sold absolutely amazing on, say, PlayStation. But there's a lot of debates going on. Is Game Pass profitable? Is Game Pass not profitable? You can do all kinds of financial jiggery pokery for any sorts of corporate service to make it look profitable if you want. You take enough costs out and say that's off the balance sheet. Oh, look, it's profitable now. The real issue for me on things like Game Pass is it healthy for the developer? They're not creating value, putting it in a marketplace, hoping it explodes, and profit sharing and overage or averages and all that nice stuff. You pay me X dollars an hour. I built you a game. Here you go. Put it on your service. I don't think it's really inspiring for game developers. So we're sure these comments will end up extremely controversial and be a lot of hand-wringing over them. I get what he's trying to say for sure. We think creators wants to deliver compelling products, and in some cases guaranteed revenue may be a means of enabling them to do that. So, but it's clear whatever Microsoft says, its subscription cannot support the size of its development network anyway, and that's why you're seeing things on the PlayStation 5 or things. And that's the problem. You've seen the amount of layoffs from Xbox. So I know one of you said, who cares about the developers or the companies? I'm more concerned that things don't make money, or Xbox, their games don't make money. That's why they're coming to PlayStation. But then it stops them from taking risks. And I think we've kind of seen that with some companies where they stop taking risks and they'll just stick to the same formula. Next Call of Duty, next Battlefield. The sports games try and do the same thing every year. I think this is partly, I don't think this is the exact reason, but I do think for the future of gaming, I don't think anything will beat buying a physical game and that company getting that money directly instead of a subscription service. Because it's obviously looking at, there's a combination of Gen Z or the younger audience are just not going to be buying games. What does that mean as we go along in the gaming industry? Now, I don't know what you guys think. It's just, I think it's a combination of so much. Rubbish products being released for higher prices. That's one for sure. The living crisis, everything going on in the world. So many of these younger gamers, they don't buy a lot of games. I know, I've said it before, one of my clients who's like 16, he doesn't buy a lot of games because he plays a lot of free-to-play games and he only buys some of the racing games, Gran Turismo 7, and he rarely buys a lot of games, unlike someone like me who is used to buying games. So I think it's quite worrying, especially when you look at something like this, not just for the gaming industry. What is the gaming industry going to be like in like 10 years? And for me, no matter what, even if it saves me money, I'd rather not pay for a subscription and not own the games. I just don't want to do that. I want to hold on to physical media as much as possible. I hate it when companies, they take it off the subscription service. They can just take it off whenever they want. That's why I would need the physical. But ages 18 to 24 makes you think, as they get older into their 30s, will this still be around here? So I don't know what you guys think about this, but it's kind of scary where the gaming industry is kind of going. And you look at how many employees has Xbox sacked, shut down companies. I don't know what the industry is going to be like in 10 years. If people like the 30s and overs, the millennials and above, are holding the gaming industry together, kind of. Yeah, you're probably right. These 18 to 24-year-olds are going to forget about physical media and will completely abandon it within the next 10, 15 years. Maybe because they've been conditioned. Maybe. When was the last time someone bought a music album? Because we all have Spotify subscription. For as long as I keep going, I will always look to buy my games. I feel like I own them. I will buy physical. For me, I can't see the justification for spending monthly, like an Xbox Game Pass. It just does not appeal to me. I get it. It's value for money. I get it if someone hasn't got a lot of money to spend, £60 where they can spend, I don't know, 50. I don't know how much Xbox Game Pass is, but you can spend nearly like, I don't know, under £20 a month and you can play so many games. For me, it just doesn't do it for me. Wasn't there not a study, but it showed that people who played games on Xbox Game Pass, a lower percentage actually completed that game? I would get so overwhelmed. How many people go on Netflix and they don't know what to watch? We do that now. When back in the day, I remember going to Blockbuster and renting Too Fast, Too Furious on videotape. And that for the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I remember with my friend, Too Fast, Too Furious, we watched it about 7 times. As much as we could, because we knew on Monday we were taking it back. It made you appreciate things a lot more. But my concern for the gaming industry after talking about this, will companies continue to take risks? That's why I think AAA companies will slowly start to deteriorate in terms of quality. They already are. The AA games, the AA studios, the indie studios, they're going to be the ones to deliver. They're going to be the ones to deliver for gamers, I think. Because AAA gaming, like, I get it, Battlefield 6 is going to be great, but I was speaking to someone. I love the Battlefield 6, but I felt like I played this on PS3. It's got that nostalgic feeling. I love it, but they're charging like £70 for it. And I get it, it's a big franchise, but do you see what I'm trying to say? Is where more and more companies will take less risks, knowing that, you know, Battlefield CODs are going to deliver. It's easy for people to say, oh, Gen Z are lazy, because you've heard that with every generation. Imagine like growing up and you get a £30,000 a year job and you're like, wow, I can't afford a deposit on a house for like 10, 15 years. But then if I'm paying rent, can I even save for that? Mate, they need to sort out the economy. They need to sort out everything.